Alright, so in this video we're going to be going over solving these 3x3 systems, and then we're going to go over that test problem that gave everyone a bit of trouble. But we're going to do this first. So like I said, do this on a separate sheet of paper, be ready to hand it in. Give yourself some room like I did, give myself the whole sheet, just so we could be neat and organized and not have to squeeze stuff in or write small. Because like I said, we could in class, we could just keep going over example with these, but the way you're going to get good is by practicing, which is why I gave you the answer key, so you could check your answers, notice your mistakes. Once you get the hang of it, you'll notice it's the same procedure, you're just doing, how to do different methods to eliminate certain variables. So in this one, hope we get some more practice. I'll give you some strategies, the way you should organize this, and then over time, you'll make less and less mistakes and become good at it. And I'll give you one to try in your own. But I'm not going to write down everything, so you can't just scrub through the video. I will be saying things out loud, so you will have to write out what I write. So make sure you're watching it and listening so you know you do right. Because if I say to write a step and you just scrub through the video and write the answer, I'm not going to give you credit. So I'm saying that now. Anyway, let's get started with this one. So we have a 3x3 system. We have x, y, and z. So just by looking at this, we really talked about two procedures here. Elimination was our main way, and we also did two examples with substitution. So remember, for substitution, I'm looking for a variable that I could easily get by itself. So we can do substitution here only with the z here. Because remember, if I want to get the y, I would have to, when I get rid of the z and the x, I would then have to divide by 3. So doing a system with 17 over 3 and then 2 divided by 3 with all those fractions get really messy. So can't do it with that, but we do have z alone. So if I get z, I can do -3 minus 5 minus, and plug in z to the other two. That might work, but for this video, we're going to be sticking to elimination because that's going to be our main method that you should use when doing these. Substitution can work, but sometimes not always the best one. So first thing I notice right off the bat here is this -z, +c. So if I add equations 1 and 2 together, I'm automatically going to get rid of z. So that's what I'm going to do in this video. If I do the 3 and the 5, I'd have to get both those to 15. So I'd have to multiply two separate things. Or this one, I would have to get to 10. So y, I would stay away from. X you can do, because you would just have to multiply this one by, well, -3. And this one by -3 as well. So that's a little bit easier to cancel. But the easiest, I think, here would be the z. So one comes free, and the other one, I would just need to do, multiply one of them by 2. So you always want to do the easiest way. Even though you can do other ways, always try to stick the easiest. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to add equations 1 and 2. So first thing is, I'm going to write down the steps as well. So first, step number 1, I'm going to choose two equations and eliminate a variable. So once again, you write that. So choose two equations and eliminate a variable. That's what you're going to write there in that space. So I'm going to just rewrite. So equation 1, we have 2x minus 3y minus z equals -17. And I have 6x plus 5y plus z equals -3. I'm really sorry, that's a little sloppy. I'm looking at the camera as well, so I'll be neater in the future. So I'm going to add these two equations. Once again, circle whatever equation you're doing, so when I look at it, I can see, okay, you're equating 1 and 2. So just make sure that. So I'm going to add these. So 2x plus 6x, that's going to give me an 8x. -3 and a +5 is going to give me a +2. That's y. And like I said, that's z, -z, z minus z, 0. And that's going to equal -17 plus -3. It's going to be a -20. So now at this point, I have an equation with two variables. So if I have two variables, I need two equations. So if I could get another equation with x and y in it, then I could do some elimination, substitution, graphing. We went over those methods. So that's why for step 2, what I'm going to write here is I'm going to choose another two equations and eliminate the same variable, and make sure you underline the same there. So once again, you're writing here. So I'm going to choose another two equations and eliminate the same variable. So write that for step 2 exactly as I said it. So in this case, you can do these two. You can multiply this one by, you would need a -2 here, right? But I'm going to do 1 and 3 here because I already have this negative sign. So if I can multiply by a positive number, that's going to be easier in the long run. So I think of getting a -2 here, because if I have a 2 here, I need a +2, I need a -2. So I think multiplying this first one by just 2 would be a little easier. So what I'm going to do is going to add 1 and 3 over here. So once again, so here I have 2x minus 3y. Always copy down your equations first. And then the third equation, 2x plus 2y plus 2z equals 8. Okay, so I have a 2z, so I would need a -2z, so all I have to multiply this top one by is a 2. Okay, so let's distribute here, always be neat and organized. So 2 times 2x, that's going to be a 4x. 2 times -3y, that's going to be a -6y. 2 times -z, that's going to give me the -2z, that's what I wanted. 2 times negative 16, negative 34. So now I can add my two equations and these will cancel. So let's do this. This is easy. 2 plus 4 is a 6. 2 minus 6, that's a negative 4y. Cancels. Then negative 34 plus an 8, that's going to give me a negative 26. Okay, so now I have two equations with two variables. So let's see what we could do with these. So now step 3 are here. So we can write for step 3 is I'm going to I'm going to use my 2 by 2 systems. Let me just write these first and then we'll write the steps. So here I have negative 20 and then a 6x minus 4y equals negative 26. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to eliminate a variable in the 2 by 2 equations. Okay, so now I'm going to take my 2 by 2 systems and eliminate a variable. That's my third step here. So right off the bat, so 8 and 6, not very nice, but 2, negative 4, this one's easy because if I need a negative 4 here, I could get this to a positive 4, so all I need to do is multiply this top one by 2. Okay, so now I have it's a 16x, positive 4y, and then a negative 40, and that's what I wanted here. So now I'm going to add my two equations. So I have a 6 plus 16, it's going to give me a 22. X cancels, and negative 26 and a negative 40, that's going to give me a negative 66. Looks like we're going to get a nice whole number here, so let's divide by the 22. And I get x is equal to 22, 44, 66 goes in 3 times, and I have a negative positive, so that's going to give me a negative. So that's a negative 3. So I have one variable. So that's going to be my 3 steps. So once I solve this 2 by 2 system by getting rid of variable, I'll do. So step number 4, what I'm going to do for step number 4 is I'm going to plug in my variable to one of my 2 by 2 systems. So since I have this x, I have one of my 2 equations. I'm going to plug this back into one of my 2 by 2. So plug in variable to 2 by 2. So looking at this one, I think the easier one here would be the positive over here. So 8x plus 2. So step 4, I'm going to do 8x plus 2y equals, I'm going to use this one because I only have 2 variables here. So I know my x is negative 3. So substitute negative 3 instead of our x, negative 3. And now I can solve this for y. So 8 times negative 3, it's a negative 24 plus 2y equals negative 20. Okay, so let's add the 24 here. So we get 2y is equal to negative 20 plus 24. Difference of 4. 24 is a bigger positive, so that's a positive 4. It's bigger. Then I could divide by 2, so y is equal to 2 here. So 2 down. So my final step is now I'm going to plug in my 2 variables to a 3 by 3. So you're going to write for step number 5, plug in both variables to my 3 by 3. So I'm going to choose any one of my 3 by 3 equations here and plug in. So if I look at these, they all seem pretty, I like this one. Everyone has this one is all positive numbers, so let's use this one. So I have 2x plus 2y plus 2z equals 8. That's my third equation. Okay, so I have my x here, so I'm going to plug my x in here. And I have my y over here, so I could plug in my y here. And then we'll only have z. So let's do 2 times negative 3, that's my x, plus 2, y is a 2, plus 2z equals 8. Okay, so 2 times negative 3, that's a negative 6, plus a 4, skip ahead, that's a negative 2, right? So negative 2 plus 2z equals 8. So I could add my 2. I'm going to get 2z equals 8 plus 2 is 10, so 2z equals 10. Divide by 2, and I get z is equal to 5. And now I have all 3 variables. Remember, the way I want to write this is x, comma, y, comma, z as a coordinate. So I have 3 here. So first I'm going to write my x, that's a negative 3. Then I'm going to write my y, that's a 2. And then I'm going to write my z, which is a 5. So that is going to be my solution. I did a little sloppy because I was looking in different places, but once again, this is the format you want to do. You want to add 2 equations, and you should have your steps written down here, what I said, so make sure you have all 3 steps. I only wrote this one, but make sure you have all 5 steps for the whole page. I'll be down. So once again, eliminate a variable, do the different 2 equations, eliminate the same variable. Then once you get to here, you already know how to do this. You already know 2 by 2 systems. That's what we started with. That's algebra 1. So once these first 2 steps are really the new part. The rest of it, you should know how to do. But if you keep it in separate sections and label everything, so tell me what equations you're adding, shouldn't be too bad. Okay, so that took about 10 minutes. So now, that's it for that one. I want you to try this one. I know it's on the same. You have a piece of paper, so you should then on the front side and the back side write out this equation and do the same steps, same thing. Get some practice and try to get your answer. I'm not going to tell you the solution to this one. I want you to find that one. I know. So once again, be careful, label it, and you should have no problem with that.